On 1st October 2019, the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development of the Republic of Uganda issued a statement regarding cryptocurrencies and their usage in the country. This is what you need to know. The first takeaway from the statement is that government of the Republic of Uganda does not recognize cryptocurrency as legal tender in the country. When I go to Mama Nita's store, when I'm buying a kilo of rice from her shop, this is how the transaction usually works. I give Mama Nita my card, or I choose to pay using mobile money, and I pay using the Ugandan shilling, which is the legally recognized tender by the government of Uganda in Uganda. But if I choose to make the transaction, pay for the transaction using cryptocurrency, Mama Nita is well within her right to refuse to do business with me and reject the transaction. That is if she doesn't smack you in the face, right? But she's well within her right. However, if you are in El Salvador, the transaction would run a little bit different, because as of June 2021, El Salvador recognizes the use of cryptocurrency as legal tender in the country.
That is why next week I will send to Congress a bill that will make Bitcoin a legal tender in El Salvador.
Speaking to an opulent gathering of Bitcoin fanatics in Miami, Bukele said his country would be the first in the world to accept Bitcoin as national currency.
Meaning that I can walk to Mama Nita's store in El Salvador, I buy a cup of coffee, a pack of gum, rice, and I can pay for said coffee or whatever I'm buying using cryptocurrency, in particular Bitcoin. Now, to put it lightly, the major takeaway from this provision is that trading in crypto is not illegal itself in Uganda. However, when you want to use that currency to pay for trade services in Uganda, that's then when there will be a problem. You will not be arrested for choosing to make payment of said transaction using cryptocurrency. However, any person that is on the other end of that transaction is well within their right to reject your payment and completely refuse to do business with you. This simply means that you cannot go to the store and at Mama Nita's and opt to want to pay her in crypto. She probably doesn't even know what that means. So that's a major takeaway from Section A of the statement that was issued by the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development in regards to cryptocurrency. If you're enjoying the content you're watching on the Ask Me About the channel, please subscribe to this YouTube video so that you are notified whenever we post new content, and I post new content every day religiously, so kindly subscribe. There are other countries all over the globe that have understood the cryptocurrency assignment and have made policies to that extent that is tolerant of cryptocurrency and its operation. Countries that have understood the assignment and have hence created policies that are more lenient to the usage of cryptocurrency in their economy. In particular, the United States. The United States assigned the U.S. Department of Treasury's Finance Crimes Enforcement Network, which issued guidance on Bitcoin, which include requiring exchange and payment processors to make sure they meet the requirements, which include reporting, registration, and record keeping of all Bitcoin transactions that occur. This means that in hindsight, in the States, cryptocurrency can actually be taxed. Another country that also follows the same analogy is the UK, where they also tax Bitcoin. In my opinion, if a country or an institution like the central bank of any country proceeds to create regulations or policies surrounding cryptocurrency, it means they are observing that yes, there's this new technology that is around. We may not understand it, but we are trying to understand it. So if you are pro cryptocurrencies and all that, perhaps maybe there is a future in comparison to when a government just chooses to just look and not do anything. Now that is rather disturbing. So the effort, the initiatives to try and regulate, in comparison to other countries that have been rather harsh towards cryptocurrency, countries like Nigeria and China that have completely banned the trading, mining, all together of cryptocurrencies, especially Bitcoin, which is like the largest cryptocurrency in the world. So Nigeria and China have completely banned its usage in the entire economy. Now, the digitally issued currencies are a different conversation that we will have later. If you'd like me to address that issue, please like this video and leave a comment in the comment section so that I can do the assignment. So now you're probably wondering, if cryptocurrency is recognized as a legal tender in El Salvador, If Joanne, doesn't that then mean that it should be recognized as a legal tender in Uganda as per the provisions provided for under the Foreign Exchange Act of Uganda? First of all, you have me. Second of all, hear me out. I have an explanation. Under Section 3 of the Foreign Exchange Act of 2004 of Uganda, technically speaking, a foreign currency means a currency that is other than the legal tender of Uganda, which may include electronic units of payment in any currency other than the currency of Uganda, which are or has been legal tender outside Uganda. So by definition, technically cryptocurrency falls under that criteria. And also if you apply the National Payment Systems Act, which defines what an electronic currency means, Bitcoin falls under that category. By the way, I did a video about the National Payment Systems Act and its application, which also includes electronic money. So I'm going to leave it linked somewhere in this video. You can also see it in the description box of this video. Please watch it. It will inform you much better. So yes, under Section 3 of the Foreign Exchange Act of Uganda, technically speaking, crypto falls under that criteria. However, legal tender does not simply mean anything that has monetary value or is perceived to have monetary value, i.e. whatever is defined as having monetary value in other countries amounts to legal tender. See, there are other requirements of what technically amounts to legal tender, and I'm going to explain them to you. So first, you need to understand what legal tender is. Legal tender is anything that is recognized by law as a means of a way to settle a public or private debt or meet financial obligation, including tax payment, contracts, legal fines, damages. Legal tender is established by statute that specifies that the thing to be used as legal tender, and that institutions that authorize the legal tender to produce and issue it to the public. In summary, what this simply means that it is critical that the legal tender is defined as legal tender by the regulations of that country. So if we use a shilling, because there is a provision in the Bank of Uganda Act which specifically says that the currency that will be used in Uganda as legal tender is currency. Like, it literally says shilling is the legal tender in Uganda. So until the government of Uganda comes out and issues a statement verbally saying that, like literally letter per letter saying that cryptocurrencies is henceforth recognized as legal tender in Uganda, we are still there in between there. Two, legal tender it's very critical that it is issued and recognized by an institution, i.e. the Bank of Uganda, and also recognized and also verbally stated that this is a legal tender. So when there's a regulation that says otherwise, then it also affects the credibility of that amounting to a legal tender. More so, it is critical when trying to quantify foreign currency as a legal tender. What other countries look to is if said tender is also recognized by other countries besides your own country as legal tender. So in application of this, it simply means that yes, in El Salvador, Bitcoin is recognized as legal tender, but what do other countries think about Bitcoin? In other words, this simply means yes, El Salvador has accepted Bitcoin. You can go to the store and transact in crypto, but Nigeria has banned crypto. Crypto. China has banned crypto. So it's the fact that there's no almost general application in the acceptance of cryptocurrency affects its credibility. Hence, also giving grounds for Uganda to take the position it is taking. It's also very helpful if said legal tender is issued by a central authority, i.e. Bank of Uganda, which again, like I talked about in the video I did for this channel called Trading in Cryptocurrency or Cryptocurrency in Uganda, you can understand from that analogy where I talked about how blockchain really works. Blockchain, the technology behind cryptocurrency, the whole essence of blockchain technology is to decentralize, meaning the coins themselves, the cryptocurrencies, are mined in the decentralized environment, not a centralized institution. So by default, this law would not apply. However, for those that are forward thinkers in the environment of regulations, especially in regards to new technology, maybe if the laws are revised, the regulations are revised to encompass and grow with the new technology that we have, they will factor in this situation. But as per the 2004 Act of the Republic of Uganda, things are a little bit tricky. The fact that cryptocurrency is a decentralized currency is maybe one of the reasons why countries like Canada still do not recognize cryptocurrency as legal tender. In fact, they look at trading in crypto as doing barter. Barter simply means that when we are transacting with Mama Anita, we transact not using currency, but we transact using the analogy of I give you something, you give me something else in return. Say a kilo of rice, she gives me to pay her for her giving me a kilo of rice, I will give her, say, my glasses. That's barter. You don't trade for currency, you just trade with whatever you have. Now, the downside to trading in barter is I may give her my glasses, but she doesn't need them because my glasses are prescription. We don't share the same eye defect with her, so it would be something she has, but it's not relevant to her. It's not a necessity. Whereas if she has money, she can then use said money to go and buy herself something else that she wants. Perhaps she's saving to buy a piece of land. She would need money in comparison to prescription glasses. That's barter. Now, in regards to state-issued electronic e-currencies, for instance, the one I talked about in Nigeria, Nigeria has an e-naira, which is a state-issued and state-backed electronic currency, also referred to as CBDs. The same analogy also applies to China, which also has a CBD, as well as Venezuela. They also have a CBDs. Now, these are a bit different from cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin because, like I said, one, they're issued by the state, regulated by the central bank of that state. Therefore, they are not decentralized currencies, and it defeats the whole analogy and idea behind what cryptocurrencies. And then two, unlike cryptocurrencies whose value is attributed perhaps mainly due to community acceptance of that said currency has this value, CBDs are backed and alleged to be backed by the country's natural resources, i.e. gold, oil. Therefore, even the governments themselves assert and attribute the value of said currencies to those natural resources of that particular country. So by its technical understanding and functionality, CBDs do not fall into the criteria of what was provided for under the statement issued by the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development of Uganda. The notice proceeds to state that the government of the Republic of Uganda has not licensed any organization in Uganda to sell cryptocurrencies or to facilitate the trade in cryptocurrencies. And so that means that all these organizations that are operating in Uganda at the moment, yes, all these organizations are not operating or are not licensed by Bank of Uganda to do business in Uganda. So this statement simply means that whatever you're using to trade your cryptocurrencies, it's not regulated by Bank of Uganda. Now you're probably thinking, what? I know it's really odd. So for those that are not up to speed, ideally, in a functioning world where functioning institutions are there to protect us as the citizens of Uganda, i.e. Bank of Uganda, and regulates the financial ecosystem of Uganda. That means companies, institutions, and any other players that are involved in the financial ecosystem of Uganda and are regulated by Bank of Uganda in order to become players in the ecosystem of financial functionality of Uganda, because the business they do is so core that it affects the economy itself. When there were issues with Crane Bank of Uganda stepped in to make sure that the Ugandan economy did not have financial complications because of something as drastic as the Crane Bank having to walk out of the market. So in my explanation, you can see I've established that it is a responsibility of the Bank of Uganda to regulate these institutions. Now, it's rather bizarre and just straight out odd if the person that was meant to regulate the sector comes out to say, I don't know you, right? It's rather weird. I've been wondering, why is the Bank of Uganda, which is instructed to make sure that it regulates said financial institutions, refusing to carry out its responsibility? The only rational explanation I can think of is, first of all, you need to know these trading platforms are virtual. If you have a data, an app, a website, you can access all these platforms regardless of where you are on the planet. So by itself, it's not really that blockable. But then again, you know, with the blocking of Facebook and social media, we do know that it's something that can be done. It's not something that is rocket science. And it has been done in countries like China and Nigeria, who have even blocked the platforms that do business. So these platforms cannot trade in Nigeria and China. However, it has been noted all through media publications that the president has, at least as an individual, been more accepting of this technology, so sense of what we call regulatory sandboxes. Now, the National Payment Systems Act 2020, which I explained in detail in a video I did about National Payment Systems Act, I'm going to leave it linked in the description box of this video. Please go and check it out. Regulatory framework is a tailored regulatory environment for conducting limited scale live tests of new innovative products, services, solutions within the regulatory foresight, and is also subject to the appropriate conditions and safeguards. So it's just new technology and innovation technology that is being tried out in a very regulative environment. It's meaning that very many people are involved in making sure that everything is done right. Now, Bank of Uganda has announced the creation of regulatory frameworks and sandboxes to allow fintechs, startups to thrive in the environment of Uganda, and also to grow the startup community, the fintech startup community in Uganda. So perhaps they're not choosing to eliminate said technology because they want to see if it's functional and if it will grow in the Ugandan climate. So there have been publications stating that. I think June 15th, government of Uganda has produced a statement saying that. So that is the only rational explanation I can come up with as to why companies that are not regulated are still doing businesses in Uganda. So with that said, as anyone that is trading in crypto, like I said, please be careful. Make your due diligence before you go outright and invest, and do not only rely on the content I share in this video on this channel as financial advice. I am not your financial advisor. I am not licensed to encourage you on how you should invest your money. I'm still figuring out how I should invest my money, so please do not rely on the information I share on here as financial advice. The statement proceeds to state that, as such, unlike other owners of financial assets who are protected by government regulations, holders of cryptocurrencies in Uganda do not enjoy any consumer protection should they lose the value assigned to their holdings of cryptocurrencies, or should the government or should the organization facilitating the use, holding, or trading of cryptocurrencies fail for whatever reason to deliver the services or value they promise. Now, this is where they're straight up saying that if anything happens to any of these trading platforms and they cannot deliver on what they promised you, or they disappear with your crypto money, you cannot run to Bank of Uganda for help to reprimand the culprits. Now, this has happened and unfolded all throughout the recent years of crypto trading in Uganda. For instance, it is estimated that over 200,000 Ugandans have lost about 1 billion, or almost 4% of the country's GDP, in the past 2 years alone. So that should show you how many people have been affected by the cryptocurrency scams. In particular, there's a cryptocurrency scam, this one that management is said to have disappeared with people's money on December 3rd, 2019, after collecting 2.7 million Uganda shillings. Now, all these people's money was lost, and most of these cryptocurrency scams unfortunately tend to mask themselves as multi-level marketing schemes. I know it's not something that is very new to us Ugandans. Multi-marketing schemes in Uganda have been around, popular, and I think anyone who's watching or listening to this has probably fallen victim. I know I did. It was forever living, yes. But yes, most of us have fallen a victim in one way or the other to scams, multi-marketing scams. They're not really scams. They actually can be legitimate businesses. It's just their structure is not really sustainable. So cryptocurrency schemes in Uganda in the recent have mostly been tailored to look something like that. Like I said, this one in particular, if you are a victim of this particular scam, please leave a comment in this video. I don't know why I'm enjoying interacting with people on TikTok. I got information from people who are victims of this particular scam, and another one was global cryptocurrencies, which closed in November. The chief executive officer was Andrew Kagwa. Andrew Kagwa was arrested. He's in jail at the moment, but he's said to have run away with around $2 million of people who had invested in global. If you are a victim, please talk to me in the comment section of this video. I'm just curious. Now, another takeaway you need to know is that to register for these businesses, they also tend to collect your personal information, and there are regulations that are very specific in regards to how your personal data should be processed, managed, and handled. It's a requirement of the organization to protect that data. I'm going to leave a blog I did on the regulations of Uganda surrounding your personal information. For those that fell victim to the OneCoin scheme, it's unfortunate. The lady just disappeared off the face of the earth. The founder, her brother, though, was arrested, and I think was before court. The matter was before court very recent this year. But there's a whole podcast that I've listened to where the host is doing a very detailed backtrack of the founder of D9. The woman is a genius. She literally fooled the entire planet. At one point, OneCoin was looked at as the coin that would be the end of Bitcoin. She was profiled by The Economist. She was looked at like she was a god. She was a small god. But it's just so unfortunate that at that point in time she was just masquerading and she just swindled people's money. So with that said, the major takeaway from this statement is that if you choose to buy, trade, sell cryptocurrencies, it is not illegal. It's just that if anything happens to your income, your money, your investment in cryptocurrency, you are on your own. Nowhere is the government of Uganda in any shape, form, or manner going to come in to help you. This is despite the fact that Rugunda's son is the CEO of Crypto Savannah. Maybe that is why the government has not taken such drastic measures. I'm speculating. Please do not come for me. But despite that, please be very careful when you're making these investments. If you choose and you have done the due diligence, you've done the research, know that if any person you give your investments to, or you choose to invest using all these other digital cryptocurrency trading platforms, please be careful. So that is what I had for you in this episode. Thank you for watching. If you managed to get this far, and I was your host Nagawe Joan. This was the Ask Me About the channel. Please subscribe, leave a comment, like and share this video, and remember, I post new content every week, so please subscribe so that you are notified every time I release new content. Until next week's episode, salute. Disclaimer: nothing implied or stated on this page, this YouTube video, or the blog should be constructed to be legal or tax or professional advice. The Ask Me About the Law blog, podcast, and YouTube channel are not a law firm, and therefore they should not be interpreted as creating an attorney-client, legal advisor relationship, or any professional relationship in any shape or form or manner. For any questions regarding your specific situation, please seek the services of a qualified attorney or financial advisor. For any inquiries, comments, or feedback, please reach us on our social media handles, which are listed below.